Welcome to the Build Your Beautiful Business podcast with your host, Julie C. Butler. If you're looking to build the business of your dreams, then this is the space you want to be in. Join Julie as she talks about ways that you can successfully scale your profitable dream business, one that will give you ultimate time freedom and the abundant lifestyle you deserve. Julie will take you by the hand, sharing with you her business savvy strategies as she chats it up with her favorite online entrepreneurs. You'll get a weekly dose of boosted confidence as you learn as they reveal their insight, tips, and tools that you need to start building a profitable dream business of your own, one that you'll love and that works for you on autopilot.
Hello, welcome back to the BBB podcast. I am super excited. Today we have Marissa all the way from Australia. Hi, Marissa. Welcome to the show.
Hello, thanks for having me. It's so great to be here.
So nice to have you. And we just spent 40 minutes chatting. I love that. Sometimes I get on with someone that I've never talked to before, and we end up it's instant connection. It's like we've been friends forever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Down to you're maybe going to come live here for a few months next year or this year, maybe, or next year. And we're going to hang out, right?
Oh, I can't wait. I love Costa Rica. I'm so excited to get back there. So yes, it is on my plan. I need to make it happen.
Yes, it will happen. Put it on your vision board. Yes.
It is. It's my screensaver on my computer.
Awesome. I love it. And so today we're going to talk about make change easy and taking the overwhelm out of creating daily changes to achieve transformations. I love that. It's kind of a little bit not what we were talking about, but talking about change in terms of me moving here from Costa Rica and you wanting to live in Costa Rica for 3 months and stuff like that. So I feel like we were kind of talking about change before we even hit the record button. But before we get started, Marissa, I would love for you to take a moment to introduce yourself.
Thank you. So I'm Marissa. I'm a hypnotherapist and transformational consultant. So I work with rapid transformational therapy, quantum healing hypnosis, which is past life regressions, somatic and tantric embodiment, breathwork, sound healing, and I'm a speaker and an author. So I feel like I do it all.
I love it. And it's funny because last week I spoke to someone as well who was a hypnotherapist. So how cool is that? I'm like, is that the universe telling me something?
Well, look, if you've ever been interested in hypnotherapy, I highly recommend you check it out because it is amazing. It's just phenomenal, the results that you can get. And I mean, I've worked with clients that have been in therapy for years and they've tried everything and, a couple of sessions. And I've had people that have come off medication, quit 30-year addictions like fertility. I've had the most amazing results, and I'm constantly blown away every day by the success that my clients are able to achieve. This is what I love about my work. It's so good.
That's awesome. I love it. And we can also if this is something, if you're listening to this and you're like, oh my God, this is something that's so interesting and that interests me, you can truly through hypnosis, you can truly also have success in your business, right? Whereas maybe you feel yourself stuck, and then hypnotherapy might be able to unblock the blocks, if you want.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Because you're tapping directly into that subconscious. So you're bypassing your conscious mind, which is like that loud mind, that voice that you're hearing every day, that dialogue you're having with yourself. And then your subconscious is where it's like your autopilot. So all of your past conditioning, your beliefs, everything is formed within your subconscious. And this is why resolutions don't work. Because consciously you're like, okay, on Monday morning, I'm going to get up and I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to eat healthy. Monday morning rolls around, your alarm goes off and you're like, oh, I'm tired, I'm just going to snooze. But when you start working on your subconscious and start to rewire those neural pathways, you'll start to have new thoughts forming. So your alarm will go off. You might have that thought, I don't want to get up because I'm tired, but then you'll have a new thought that will come in that will be, you'll feel better when you get up. You're already awake. You might as well get up out of bed. So it's starting to reform new neural pathways. And if the conscious and subconscious mind, aren't in alignment with each other, they're always going to be working in opposite directions. So that's why you'll always consciously say that you want to be doing something, but it feels impossible to take that action to make you do those things because there's that disalignment between your conscious and subconscious mind.
That's so cool. Like I'm so
Yeah.
fascinated by like the conscious and the subconscious and all that stuff is so good. Like I'm sure we could talk all day about this, right?
Yeah. And I love it.
Yes, I know. Okay. Well, let's start with this. Like, why do people find change hard? And it's funny because, when I think back, my son is 18 now, and we went through a huge change, right? Like we moved our family to Costa Rica and he moved back to Canada, and he's like living in a new house now and things like that and blah blah blah. But I remember like, wanting to clean his room, and he did not like change, and he was like, no, leave it there, don't touch, like even just cleaning out a drawer. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, Cameron does not do well with change. but so what is it, why do people find change so hard?
Look, I mean, I think based on that example, I think, there's many varying reasons why people find change hard. I think for most people, like as an adult through everyday life, you have so much going on, right? Like your to-do list never ends. You've got family commitments, work commitments. You've got so much going on that to think then about having to make change feels overwhelming, especially if you want to change something that you feel like you've had for a really long time, because it feels like this heavy burden, like this heavy backpack that you've been carrying around for so long. So then it's like, it feels overwhelming because it's one more thing you already have to do. Then you also may feel like you don't even know how to change or how to release it. Then it can also be fear driven because then you think, okay, well, what would my life look like if I actually didn't have that anymore? Even though consciously you know you don't want it, but it's like you then have this subconscious programming and patterning of self-sabotaging and that fear running under the show, right? And like people, when you say like a fear of success, and then people are like, oh, I don't have that, I wouldn't have that. But then it's like, how would your life changed if you were successful? All of a sudden, then you feel that you are moving away from your friendship group, or you're having different challenges in life than the people around you because you're evolving and moving through different situations. So then your whole life feels like it's going to change, which then also feels scary and overwhelming because you're moving out of your comfort zone. So, I guess biologically, we've been hardwired to feel like we need to be the same as everybody else because that's been part of the survival instinct back in caveman days when you needed to be like inclusive and part of the tribe, right? Because if you weren't part of the tribe, your survival depended on that. And if you were ostracized, it was hard to survive. So there's that biological hardprinting in DNA. Then it's like the demands of life, it's fear. There's so many things that are going on, so many beliefs and so much conditioning and programming as well.
And probably also the fear of missing out, right?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And then I think also as well, like with that control tendency where people have like a high level of control, like, needing things to be a certain way all the time, and then it's hard for them to make change. That can also be like as a form of a trauma response. So if somebody has had trauma within their life where at some point they have felt out of control of themselves, their body, their sovereignty as their own human being and their own rights, then they feel that they need to control so many other areas of their life because that has been inbuilt as a safety mechanism for them. So it's kind of unraveling like trauma, conditioning, beliefs, and imprinting within you to be able to make change easy.
I love it. So, how to make change easy? How do we make
Yeah.
change easy, Marissa?
Well, I tell my clients all the time that it's like, how can you, okay, if you, first of all, you want to get clear on what this future version of you looks like. So imagine that you're standing on a football field and the current version of you is at one end. At the other end of the football field is the future version of you. So you can see the other end of the football field. You know it's a possibility to walk from one end of the field to the other. So you know it's a very real possibility to move to that future version of you. But how do you move that future version of you into the current day version of you? And then this is where it's like you start to embody what that future version of you is in your current day life. Because I think people get so caught up on like the destination that they forget about the journey. It's like, when I get this, then I'll be happy. Or when I lose this weight, then I'll feel like this. Or when I have my bank account looking like this, then this will give me this freedom in my life. And you're so focused on these like next levels that then you just are missing who you're unraveling and becoming in the process. And that's the most important part. So it's like, how can you start showing up daily in your current life as the future version of you would? So, yes, your bank account may not match that future version of you, but can you still live in a state of bliss and abundance? Can you be grateful for the fact that you're eating beautiful fresh fruit and vegetables, or you have running water, or you have a nice house to live in, or whatever it is? Like, find the gratitude in what you're already currently doing and what you currently have. And it's also about changing the intention of what you're already doing to get a different result. So rather than feeling like, okay, I want to make change, I need to do all of these different things in my life, and then it feels too hard, it's like, how can you shift what you're already doing to get a different result? So, for example, if you want to start eating healthier and you want to go on like change your lifestyle, it's like, okay, well, can I supplement a soft drink for a water, or a soft drink for a fresh juice? Or can I meal prep? Or can I add in a juice to my day where I'm getting, making sure I'm getting fruit and vegetables into my diet easier? How can you start to make these shifts in what you're already doing to get a different intention? And it's like even things like adding in breath work and meditation. People are like, I don't have time to meditate, or I find it really hard. It's like, you can do it for 5 minutes before you go to bed. It's not that long. 5 minutes is not that long to start off with. You can do breath work while you're doing meditation. You can even do a meditation while you're in the shower. You can do breath work while you're driving your car. Like, there's so many different forms of doing things that completely change the outcome of what you're doing. And I think sometimes people think, oh, well, if I want to do breath work or meditation or this, I have to sit down for hours, and I don't have hours. It's like, no, you don't. You just start small, and it adds up to big changes. And the more that you start small and start to feel little micro shifts happening, the more your body then will start to call out for you to make other shifts and changes. So then all of a sudden you might go, you know what? I'm going to turn the TV off half an hour earlier, and I'm going to sit and do some meditating and journaling because I feel like I want to now, because I've built up to that after adding in 5 minutes in my daily life. So it's just starting to make these little micro shifts. And it's these habitual layer stacking of these little micro actions that add up to big changes over time. Kind of like building a house, right? Like, you
Mhm.
start incrementally, bit by bit by bit.
I know, and you can start with the small thing, right? And just
Yeah.
implement. And when you feel comfortable, add the second thing, right? And I think that, if you like me, for me, when I'm trying to implement like a new little thing like that, like a 5-minute meditation or affirmation or whatever, I like make a note for myself. I put it in my calendar so I don't forget, because it's so easy to forget, right? Like, you go on with your day and you're like, oh, I'll do it later. And then it's nighttime and you're Netflix and chilling. And next thing you know, it's bedtime. And you don't do the thing, or you forget, or you're like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Right. Like, so I think that, you know, by starting small, and then it's like you said, it becomes the habit. Right. But
Yeah.
I think that it's really key. And when you were talking about, um embodying that person, that feeling, and that gratitude and that happiness of that person who is over here, rather than what's in your bank account today or what your business looks like today, it doesn't matter, because I think and I get these little things when I'm talking on Zoom. But I think that could be the missing gap, or the key for more of us achieving the level of success that we want to achieve, or the goals that we want to achieve, or whatever that looks like, is in really and truly in the embodiment of that, who that person is, like really sitting down and feeling, okay, like what is that version of what, who, and what I want to be, and how does that person feel, and how does that person think, and how does that
Yeah.
person show up, and do that now. I think we get trapped in that whole cycle of overthinking and
Yeah.
should have, and feeling guilty, and oh, I should be here by now or whatever. And then that's kind of like, it just, I think, keeps us there longer than we want to be or need to be, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And if we just got out of our own way and just, appreciated where we were in life and just enjoyed the everyday moment. And it's so cliched, right? And I don't want to be like one of those cliched people, but it is like, it really is living in the present moment and really bringing that bliss and abundance and love feeling and vibration and frequency into everything you're doing that really does transform your life. And I know it sounds like, oh, well, that's so easy. Like, but it really is that easy if you let it be that easy. And I think we do make things so much harder than they need to be in life. And we just really don't need to.
Yeah. And you know what is so funny? I was thinking about this yesterday. I'm like, the only thing that we can control, yes, okay, I think we can control the future based on the way we behave today, but the only thing we can control is what's happening right now, this minute, right? We
Absolutely.
can only control the now. So why not enjoy it fully, right?
Yeah.
Today, right now at 3:30 almost in Costa Rica time, it's sunny, and like, enjoy it. Like, we only have one life to live, and life is just way too short to live in that space of overthinking crap all the time, and just like, all of those things. Like, just be that person, be that version of who you want to be today. Enjoy
Yeah.
being in the now, enjoy being present. Like, I was listening to a podcast interview, and it was like, we spend so much time in the present. No, we spend so much time in the past and in the present,
Mm,
right? The present hasn't even happened yet. And the
yeah.
past, you cannot do anything about it. So why do we spend so much time there? Right?
Yes, and a really interesting thing that I notice with my clients as well is those that have a high level of anxiety are more future focused because they're in the fear of what's going to happen in the future. And those that have a higher level of depression are more focused on the past because they're stuck on reliving things that have happened over and over and over again. So it's when the sweet spot is the present moment. And that's when you're like releasing yourself, like you can't be a prisoner of the past. Like nothing can change what has happened. And you can control the future to a certain extent, but you also need to not control everything because life is meant to flow and it's meant to give you new opportunities. And if you're so fixated on how things have to happen and what things need to look like, you're just going a one track path and you're closing yourself off to so many amazing things coming in on the side.
Mm-hmm. I know, so powerful.
Mm.
Okay. So what are 3 tips that people can do in daily life to make changes?
Yes, I think embodying the future version of you. First of all, getting clear on what that future version of you looks like, and then how can you start to embody that? So it might even be as simple as what thoughts would that future version of me think, or what foods would they eat, or how would they talk about themselves, or what would they feel about themselves? You can just start small and get out of your own way. So don't try to control and force everything and just allow life to flow and also step into your authenticity and sovereignty. I think also a lot of issues is that people have been so conditioned to feel like they need to live a certain way and to achieve certain things. And if they don't, they're deemed as a failure or whatever. Or you have these societal pressures that you need to live and work a certain way. And it's not meant for everybody. Like I'm not meant to live a 9 to 5 life and be in the same 4 walls all day. Like I need variety in my life. And when you truly are aligned to your authenticity and sovereignty, you're living from a place that is aligned to your highest good. So it doesn't matter what you do, you're always going to be moving in the right direction for what is best for you because you are aligned to you. And everything you need is already within you. all of this like wisdom and insight and healing and infinite magic, power, potential, and possibilities is already within you. So don't be afraid to tap into it and to listen to what is calling out for you, because it doesn't matter if it's different to the person next to you, because you're not them. You're your own soul having your own journey and growth and evolution in life.
And we should embrace that, right?
Absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely.
I love it.
Yes.
Yes, I know. Like this episode was so good. And I think we talked a little bit about it at the beginning, but I want to touch back on like, let's go back and talk about like, this is how we should do things versus setting resolutions and why resolutions don't work, right? Like,
Yeah.
so in closing, I guess kind of like conclude why resolutions don't work, and we should, go veer to the pathway of, you know, I guess you concluded kind of, but I wanted to touch back on this.
Yes, so resolutions don't work because your subconscious and conscious mind aren't in harmony and balance together. So if you want to make change, that's, start with those little micro shifts, but also do the subconscious work, because that will move you faster ahead, so much faster. You'll find you'll have rapid leaps and jumps when you start working on that subconscious work. So definitely work on your subconscious. That is huge. And I feel like everybody needs to be doing that. Absolutely. And the reason why we feel like we should be doing things, I guess, is that societal conditioning. And I guess it comes from that biological hardwiring, but also we're not living in the cave days anymore. And we have so many more resources at our fingertips and disposal. And you know what? Life is like a smorgasbord. We're meant to go and sample many different flavors and experiences to find what we like and what is right for us. And sometimes people have food allergies and they can't eat the same food as us, and that's totally okay. So we're not meant to all do the same things.
I love it. I love it. And you know what? Like, I think, Marissa, I think something important to, and I don't know if you're listening to this and you know about, the subconscious and the conscious and all of that stuff. But the thing is that like people should know, every single person on the planet should know about this, because whether you know it or you don't, it's working for you. Right.
Mm,
So it doesn't
yeah,
even matter if you're like, well, I'm not going to participate in, reprogramming the subconscious. So this is what I want and this is what I'm going to get. Right. Like that's still working in the background.
yeah.
Like it doesn't go on vacation. And even if you don't know about it, it's still happening. Right. So I think it's so important to educate ourselves on, you know, the power of the subconscious mind and how reprogramming it can truly change our lives.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's so powerful. And,
Mm-hmm.
it's incredibly important to do the subconscious work, because a lot of our beliefs that are imprinted in our subconscious that are causing us to take actions the way that we're taking, or to think certain thoughts, were programmed onto us as a child from the environment around us. And up until the age of 7, you don't have a conscious thought that is yours alone. You're regurgitating the thoughts and ideas and beliefs from those around you, which means that you basically spend a whole life undoing what was never even yours to start with.
Right? I know, so much power in that. So,
Yeah.
Marissa, you have this awesome freebie for us called 5 Days to Freedom. And
Yes.
so I think everybody should download that. But you want to tell us what it's all about?
Yes, so it's a little free program, and there's some guided somatic embodiment practices in there, which are amazing to reconnect the mind and the body back together. They're really quick and easy to do. So if you don't have a lot of time, it's okay. You can still fit them into your daily life. And there's some guided videos in there. So they're amazing to really help you to kind of re-tap back into you, rediscover you, and start living from your own purpose. So a lot of my clients, they come to me with many varied issues that's causing problems in their life, but ultimately that cause is quite the same, and those ultimate results are always the same. So they want to be living a different life. They want to be living some like a life that is not the life they're currently living. And a lot of people are like, I don't even know what the life I want to be living even is. Like, I feel like I don't even know what that is. I don't even know myself, right? So this little program is great to help you tap back into you and start to rediscover yourself and bring you back online to then be able to align to what you want in life because you'll know you better.
Oh my God, I love that. I'm going to go download that right now.
Yes, I'd love you to join.
Yes. And also, I'm going to have that link in the show notes for everybody. So,
Thank
Marissa, it's been so great talking to you. And I love everything
you.
we talked about. But if the listeners are like, wow, I want more. Marissa, where can we find you and how can you help clients? Like, what kind of work do you do to help your clients with this whole, changing?
Yes, so you can find me on all of the socials just under my name, and I'm probably most active on Instagram, which is just Marissa Warren and then the underscore. Or my website is marissawarren.com. So the work that I do, I have a phenomenal ability to be able to tap very deeply into the subconscious to find out exactly what's been going on, release it, and help you break free from these limitations to move into the life that you want to be living. So I work on so many varied issues. I work on confidence, self-esteem, insomnia, weight loss, fertility. I work with business owners. Oh gosh, I feel like I do it all. And I have a really big focus on the somatic embodiment work. So in hypnosis, that's where we'll work on the mind. And then we will also work together with the somatic work. So what I found was I could fix the mind very quickly. But if there was still that disconnect in the body or trauma stored within the body, clients were more likely then to have like a deference and something else may come up later, or they just didn't have the skills and capabilities to be able to navigate life's challenges easier. So then it feels like they're derailing themselves again. So the package that I've created is amazing because it works holistically and it really amplifies the results. And the work that we do isn't just for now, it will last a lifetime. And you have skills and resources and content that you can refer back to anytime over because life is life. It's not amazing every single day. There will be challenges in life. But when you have a certain level of skills and inner resources, it makes it so much easier to be able to navigate through them. And a lot of my clients, they're like, well, I look at this person and look at where they are. And it's like, well, they were just a normal person like you. Everyone's just a person, right? Everyone are people. The only difference is these people that you're idolizing or you think that they've got it all perfect or whatever, they're successful in business or life or whatever. It's the fact that, you're never going to not have a negative thought again. Let's be realistic. And it doesn't matter what level in life you're at, you will still have moments where you'll doubt yourself. You might have some fear creep in or some, self-doubt, right? But the only difference between the people that aren't where they want to be and the people that are where they want to be is the fact that the people that are where they want to be just recalibrated their mindset and kept moving forward anyway. They didn't let that fear take over them. So once you have a different level of skills and resources, it's easier to go, okay, this is not a great thought, but then you can move through it and push through it and you're not stuck where you are.
Awesome. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Marissa, for being
Thank
on the show
you.
today. It was so nice connecting with you. And
Oh, lovely.
I hope that we get to talk again soon.
Yes.
I know we have to kind of figure out our times because we're like a kind of on the opposite sides of the planet, but
Yes. Yeah. We can always make it work.
yes, you can. We can. Amazing. Awesome. Thank you so much. And if you're listening to this episode, I will talk to you on the next episode.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Build Your Beautiful Business podcast. If you did, please make sure to subscribe, rate, and review the show on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Julie's included a link in the shows to make it nice and easy for you. And if you want to create a beautiful, profitable business of your own, make sure to go unlock your access to Julie's 6 must-have resources for female entrepreneurs. These resources will help you build and grow your business with simplicity and ease. You can find them at juliecbutler.com/freebie vault. We'll see you in the next episode.